I start every company with no money.
Arion Rybrook is probably the wealthiest and down-to-earth person I know, but that wasn't always the case. 15 years ago, Arion was a homeless individual with few pounds in his pockets.
I ended up living in an abandoned building for 9 months. You ever get those moments in life where you're just like, I have no idea what's going on?
How did Arion manage to go from a homeless individual to a fulfilled multi-millionaire?
Before I felt life was a battle, and now it's like just a beautiful experience. Once you understand how and the simple business principles, it don't take that long to get. You can just do it over and over again for the rest of your life.
What will be your actionable step for someone that can take him less than 1 week to start building a business without investment?
What's the steps you take from that A to B?
I'm your host, Gabe Marusca with the Nomad Solopreneur Show. And in today's episode, I'm going to share the story of Arion Rybrook, which is not only inspiring, but is full of real-life examples and applicable tactics you can use to start changing your life and business. This is your chance to learn from someone that not only achieved tremendous success, but he mentored some of the most successful people I got the chance to meet face-to-face. Before we jump into it, if you enjoy these interviews and you find them valuable, make sure to subscribe and follow to not miss when you drop the next one. Thank you so much. Now let's dive into Arion's story.
And something that I've been fascinated with over the years, before I had my own transformational story, was other people's transformational stories. How do you go from a place in your life where, to put it nicely, you have no idea what's going on? Like, I remember I was in a place where I had an odd situation. I had my house repossessed. I had my mother was having her house repossessed. My sister was having her house repossessed. My grandmother was having her house repossessed, all at the same time. So I ended up living in an abandoned building for 9 months. And this is an old building that was used for the Coast Guard. For those of you who don't live on an island, it's where a building that sits and looks out for boats to make sure they don't hit the rocks. Not like a lighthouse, but similar type of thing. So, and it turns out this place, nobody was using it. I thought, maybe I can use there for a while I start to think about my life, start to think about what I'm going to do. Because at that time, it was like 2009, I had like £1,000, which I had to last me for a year. And all the people were getting laid off everywhere, as you know, at that time. Getting jobs, I don't have any government qualifications or anything, so getting jobs would have been quite a tricky process. How the frick did I get here? You ever get those moments in life where you're just like, I have no idea what's going on? And I wrote on the wall, it was like, what are the rules? And I just kept looking at this every day. It's like, what are the rules? What are going on? What's all this life about? What's this world about? And I think a lot of time when we don't have money, that's when we start to contemplate a lot of these things, when we feel like we're trapped and stressed and other things. And fast forward a little bit. Now, I've been living in south of Spain for more than 10 years. I haven't had to work for income. My companies are fully automated. They send me money every single month. I have a beautiful growing family. I moved my extended family into my house. I'm building a family resort in Ireland where we're moving all our extended family together.
When you're in that building and asking yourself, how did you end up there? What was the actual answer to that? Because I feel like there are so many learnings there where people end up in situations like that.
And it is an interesting time in terms of reflections, because I think this is one of the traits that led me to live there for 9 months and not just try to do something else. Like maybe I could have got a job somewhere in a city, or I don't know, there wasn't many going, but if I'd really fought for it, maybe I could have done that. But maybe the solopreneur, entrepreneur mindset kind of thing is I would rather have time to think and figure out what is going on, even if I have to live like the most basic, simple way you could possibly imagine. Like literally, I was sleeping with a mattress. I put all my books down and stacked them up, and I put the mattress on top, and I was sleeping there. And I was just walking around the beaches every day, just reflecting, just being like, what is going on? What's this place all about? And what I found with me, I had quite a bit of success before, but then what happened was all my deep traumas, I didn't deal with them. So I figured out how to make money and be successful and sell and other things, but I didn't do the deep inner work. This is what happens whenever a lot of people get good times in their life. All the crap that you haven't dealt with starts coming up to the surface to be dealt with, because that's the best time to do it, whenever you're having a good time. And a lot of people don't know this. Whenever they start to have good times, they just go, oh no, why is my mind playing tricks on me? Why is there crap coming into my, it sounds like a crazy person in my mind giving me shit all the time. And it's just what's supposed to happen. Once you create good space, that comes up to be dealt with. And I didn't know that at the time. I just started freaking out when that started happening to me. And I didn't realize that's the time you have to start pulling the traumas out and all your things that have happened in your life that have really caused you a lot of pain. Because I had a pretty crazy childhood, but I had a lot of things that I've been dealing with even since then. And I keep just picking out layers and layers as I get stronger and able to deal with these things. But once I deal with the traumas, suddenly my life jumps up a level in terms of connection with people, in terms of relationships, in terms of money, in terms of everything. It just, once you release a trauma, it naturally floats. Before I felt life was a battle, and now it's like just a beautiful experience with a lot of energy.
That's often the case. If you want to achieve something in life, you have to start it yourself, because often we think, oh, I want to build that huge and successful business and I should focus on all business activities and so on. But if you feel miserable, if you feel in a place that you're crumbled down by traumas, by past experiences and so on, you're not going to go far like that. And you should always start with yourself. And I love that process. You reflect and take your time to achieve that inner peace. And when that happened, when you actually start to get out of that abandoned place and move forward in your life.
It's a crazy story with this one, because as I told you, I had £1,000. No, I didn't have £1,000. I had an overdraft limit on one account that was £1,000 of credit in that. And I'll say €1,000 just for convenience, because it's almost the same now. And for most people are probably listening in Europe, but I was using like €3 per day, €4 per day for that period I was there. And I went right down and I had like down to my last €50 of credit. And I was like, when you see the end of your food, it's like, uh-oh, I better do something. And I really got to make a decision right now. And what I was planning to do, I was packing my bags. I was grabbing whatever I could just on a backpack. And I was just going to go, this was sort of in the winter, and I was going to go just walking around the west coast of Ireland. And there's not much out there apart from farms. It's just like hills, rain, farms, grass. And I was just going to literally, I was just going to go, and then I was going to walk, and I was just going to knock on like farm doors and say, I'll work for food. I was in that place. I didn't know what else to do. I'm just like, I didn't want to do that, but I was ready to go. And it was just like this odd situation. I just got a message on my phone as I was just like the day before I was about to go. And it was just like, somebody just sent a message saying, hey, we're sorry to say that your granddad had died and he left all the grandchildren £1,000 each. And I was just like, sad for granddad, delighted for the £1,000. And you might not think £1,000 doesn't sound like much. Again, we go that in one trip into town. It's just like, but at that time, when you're down to your last 50 and you're about to go walking and knocking on farm doors, that is like, oh, praise the Lord. It's just like a manna from heaven type of thing coming in. And it was like, okay, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to go. I'm going to pick out a different plan. And I decided I'm going to figure out the money thing, whatever it takes. I'm going to read every single book that was ever written on money, on millionaires, on billionaires, on wealth, on the economy, on every single thing until I figure out the money thing. And I did. I committed to that. Over the next years, I read over 5,000 books. I learned photo reading and speed reading so I can get through them at a crazy pace. And I just obsessed about how can I build a system so that you can create money in any business, no matter what you're doing. So what I did was I realized at that time, no government qualifications and the economy's down, not many people hiring. So if I can't get a job in a company, my only option I thought at the time was to buy a company. Now, this seems crazy. You're like, okay, you don't have much money. How can you buy a company? And that's like a very interesting process. Like I teach people now how you can buy companies with no money. And it's a very interesting game once you figure it out. But I used the process to start going around and connecting with people I know who had businesses. So I had a little bit of money left. So I flew over to Spain. I met someone there who I knew had a business that they didn't really want. It was kind of failing. And they had this retail store. And whenever I was talking to him, he was telling me it wasn't much. He was losing like $2,000 a month. That's not a lot, but it was just like before it was very successful. He had other businesses, didn't care about this one. It was kind of like winding down. He's like, I just want rid of this thing. And I was like, I'll take it. And he's like, okay, well, what could we were talking about it a bit. And I says, okay, instead of you losing $2,000 a month, how about I will give you $2,000 a month and then we'll create a price at which I can buy it. So it's like a lease on your car where you lease the car with an option to purchase at the end. So I did that deal and he's like, sure. No worries. And then he said, okay, we'll start not this month, next month, the payments, because I need to buy a little time because I didn't have any money. One, having a shop gave me somewhere to live. That was very nice. I got to sleep in the office. So I just put some stuff on the ground. Then I was able to take that. We just created a very basic, friendly contract. Not a big deal. Like, you can do these things. You don't need expensive lawyers and stuff for this. I took the retail store. Then I applied online for a credit card. I might have been a little creative in my application. I got a credit card, and it gave me like enough money to, like, it was like just under 10,000, whatever pound, which is crazy at the time. And then I just used that to buy stock and fill out the business. And then at the time, I didn't really know what I was doing. So I just sat and watched every night Restaurant Impossible, Hotel Impossible, Ramsay's Kitchen Nightmares, and listened to The Science of Getting Rich, which is one of the best books ever written, by the way. I listened to the audiobook version of that, and I just tried to figure out how to make this business stuff work. And I think it was just like, you were saying about fixing the traumas before we do this. I still had my traumas while I was doing this. A lot of days I felt like I was battling life, but you need money, got to figure it out, trying to heal myself at the same time, listen to a bit of Louise Hay on top as well. These type of things, trying to heal some things. And then it was just like, I just kept going every day and figuring out. And my goal was to create a system of the prosperity system and make a system you can repeat over and over again. So cutting the story short, in just over 3 months, I was able to automate that business where I didn't have to work anymore. I didn't have to do anything. I had it fully automated, and I was getting more than £10,000 a month personal income. So in 3 months, to go from nothing to £10,000 a month personal income that I could spend. And it was just like, oh, this is nice. This is awesome. And then I started to tell people, I was like, hey, this is amazing. This shit, look, the prosperity stuff, the self-development, the emails, the work on your business, not in your business. You can automate things. This is incredible. You can do it. And then people are like, yeah, it's okay for you. My business is different. No, you're doing a shop. I have a different business. So I'm like, I wonder if I applied it in another business, would it also work? I decided, okay, let's do it. And I went and got a mail order business. So we put ads in the newspaper. You give a free product. And then people, they pay only the shipping. So they pay €10 for shipping for the product. You give them a product, and then you have a list for your catalog. And we built up quickly to 5,000 names on that list. We're sending out catalogs every month. I was licking thousands of stamps. Not very fun. Driving around. I used to go to, there's this place in Ireland. It was this little old man. The post office in Ireland, it's in basically someone's living room. Wow. So I would go to this little old man's house, and he would sell about 4 stamps a day. He'd be sitting there drinking his cup of tea. Everyone who comes in knows him. And then I come in and be like, I need 5,000 stamps, and you and me are both going to stick them on, and we're going to post it today. So me and this old man, about 90 years old, were both licking these stamps. He had no teeth, so it was made it easier for him to lick it. So we were licking these stamps, 5,000 of them. We shipped them out. And then it was just like, I was doing that every month, just doing that, shipping them out. And then from that, I got over the 10,000 a month again on another business in a very short period of time. And so this stuff does work then. Very nice. And this, what if I do it again? And then I did it again, and we did it with a wholesale company. And very quickly, we were selling like millions of different products every year, other stuff at the wholesale company, because this was much bigger scale. We were doing that. And then we started white labeling things, and that's a whole nother process. Then launching a magazine, and then that's a whole nother process. And then doing seminars and doing coaching and doing mentoring, doing so many different things. But I realized whenever you understand how these things work, how your mind works, how to envision, how to create, and the basics of business. Like, I'm not a business genius by any stretch of the imagination, but we've probably sold like somewhere around 50 million worth of products, like 50 million euro worth of products since that process and whatever. And again, for a lot of my friends do that in a year. So it's not like that, like, doesn't sound like much. But for me, from where I was, it's not a bad amount. And I've been able to live an incredible life since then. Haven't had to work in over 10 years. I still do a ton of things because I like it, but I don't have to work for money, because my businesses just give me the money. Where I wanted to segue on this as well is I might not be a solopreneur. However, I have the same values as a solopreneur. I didn't want to be tied to things. So I don't know if that resonates with what you're saying, because you might be like, okay, this guy, he has 20 employees. He's got multiple offices in different countries. He's got retail stores in multiple countries. He's got all these things. He's doing seminars. That doesn't sound very solopreneurish, but it is, I'll tell you. And where that is because I never wanted to be tied to things. So I wanted to figure out how to automate businesses. And this is the thing, you can have all the benefits of being a solopreneur when you figure out the system, but having a bit of a bigger system, it's actually almost easier in a way once you know how to create that system. So the solopreneur thing is cool, but you can also make it bigger without it being stressful.
I would love to see how you can apply the same process that you used to take businesses with basically nothing and build them into a profitable one.
I had a very specific way of doing it, a very lazy type person way of doing it, where I always got everyone else to do everything. Like I physically had to make myself not do a lot of things. I would get the employees to build everything for me, and I didn't really do it. So recently, I was thinking, if I was to be the one doing the stuff, because again, I like running experiments, and that's why I picked businesses in different countries, in different styles, in different industries, because I just want to see if I can perfect the method of what it is. I decided to do something where I'm doing the work. So this might resonate with some solopreneurs where you're the one doing the work. So whenever you do like a self-development thing, you do end up doing the work because it's my voice, my story, my other stuff. And this is super fun for me. But we started in a Discord group. You might have been there quite early on, Gabe, or maybe recently, but it was like 6 people in a Discord group. This is it. No marketing, no budget, no spending. And because again, I start every company with no money. So in case anyone goes, well, you have money, it's fine. It's every company I start with no money. So we launched this group, Peaceful Riches, with a free Wix site. I went to Wix.com and I used a free Wix site, and it said wixsite.peacefulriches.something.com. And people are like, dude, you're not putting that out, are you? I was like, yep. Because Peaceful Riches made 0 money, so I'm spending 0 money. And people are like, no, come on, you're at least going to buy a website, right? And I'm like, nope. Until Peaceful Riches has money, it does not spend money. That's my principle with every company. I don't care what anyone thinks about it. So in Discord, you have to pay 10 a month to boost it, to have a nitro to boost and that stuff. So I paid like 10 a month for that. I've invested I think the website, peacefulriches.com, was like €10 or something, whatever it was. I paid 10 a month for Discord. So that's maybe €100 I've spent in total. So we went from 6 people. I had no list, start from complete scratch. I spent nothing, no advertising, no nothing. Now we have 1,000 people now in the group. I think it's just like 20 people under 1,000. Doesn't seem like a lot, but that's also why I like this, because sometimes people think I need 50,000 followers to have a business. And you don't. And I'll tell you why. Because I thought, okay, I just do what I do. I just like to show people what I'm doing while I'm doing it. I feel that's like the best way to demonstrate that this stuff works. Okay, I've got a Discord server, 6 people in it. I'm not spending any money on it. How do I get over? Because I have a number. It's like, how do I get over the 10,000 a month personal income? Every business I ever do, that's the first number I try to hit, because it's just like a little game. How quickly can you get to that level? And then I'll say, so I just offer free courses. So I offer what I think are courses that should sell for over 1,000. And the last one we did was Get Money Now. It wasn't like a free 1-hour sales pitch, which a lot of free courses are. It was a full month of interactive. We did 9 webinars. You had the guidebooks, you had the audios, the guided meditations, the community support, everything that I've paid way more than a few thousand for many times. I paid 5,000 for a bunch of 6 CDs one time. So it's like, we built this thing I thought was incredible. It got some people in. The first one, Peaceful Riches, got I think 500 people joined. For Get Money Now, the one we just launched, which you can still get for free, both of them, and our new course, The Inner Game of Money Coming. We launched that, and 1,000 people joined for that one. Well, 1,000 emails. We got 1,003 emails of people signed up for this. And this is something you want to do when you're doing solopreneur. You want to start building a list. Gabe probably talks about that a lot because he builds websites that help you build these pages where you start to build lists and landing pages to get new customers in. So we got 1,000 people in there. Whenever I'm there, I work my ass off to deliver so much value that people just really feel they're getting something incredible. If somebody asks a question, I'll try to answer it as quickly as possible. We did members nights. We're bringing people on to talk about their products, what they're doing. And then in a little tiny bit at the bottom of the Discord, I write mentorship. And then mentorship, it's just a little offer. I don't push it on people. I don't promote it. I'm not heavy selling. I'm not doing anything else. I've never done a sales pitch for it. I just mention sometimes that I do it. And I put a little thing, mentorship, and then I wrote a little blurb about it, and then price $1,950 per month. But my job as a solopreneur in this business is I want to blow people's minds with so much value that they're just like, you know what? I'd love to go even faster than this. I think that the Get Money Now is great. I'm upgrading a lot. I saw a ton of people in the chat all saying they get new money very quickly. There's tons of people that will get the testimonials for that. And some people just want to go a bit faster and they want to work with me one-on-one. And last month, 9 people signed up. So you can do the math, 1950 times 9. If you're a little bit slow at math, you can do 2,000 times 9, minus a couple of 50s. and you get to the number. And for a little fun project on the side that started with 6 people in a Discord group, less than 1,000 members, and like €100 investment, that's not a bad return. And no expense. That all comes to me because you might want to talk to one of our friends. He's got zerotaxcompany.com, and he shows you how to have a zero tax company in Hong Kong. So then all the money that you get is yours. So it's like whenever you realize it's like you can go from nothing to that. And I just do this as an experiment because I want to show people that it works. Because some people go, okay, you did your businesses a while ago. I was like, okay, I'll try something. I'll do it as me doing the work because it's way harder if you're the one doing the work. Okay, almost 20,000 a month from €100 investment and investing a few months into it. And now I hope it's going to keep growing, keep building, keep developing. So and again, my whole point of doing these little games, I'll probably do the mentoring for a little while and then I'll pick a new game and I'll see, okay, we'll screw the mentoring, we'll drop that for a while and then we'll do products and see, okay, can I create a new launch of products? I'll give myself like a time scale, see if I can get over the 10,000 again. I just like playing this to show that nobody can say it doesn't work because I do it so many times in so many different fields, in different countries, in different styles, in different ways. Because once you understand how your mind works, how your emotions work, and the simple business principles, it don't take that long to get. And maybe one skill you really want to be very good at, you can just do it over and over again for the rest of your life. And it's such a beautiful, joyful thing when you never have to worry about money again the rest of your life. When you can just go out there and just peacefully okay, if I want to do something, I don't even look at my bank account. I just say, I'm going to start this new project. If you skip, okay, give me €50, I'll do it. That's all I need. You'll get to 10,000 a month within a few months. And once you know that process, and again, I've seen the amount of my friends, Gabe, I don't know how many of my friends you've seen that we're starting to do the interview series, the Money Masters, which is also in our group. And that is like the friends that came through our group, like our first guest, Veronica Ciclaro, she came to our training 3 years ago. She was making like 1,000 a month. Her and her partner had to chip in for our course because we sold the course that time, but they had to chip in for it. They were barely making much traveling. 3 years later, they sold a company for 4.5 million, and that's just one of their companies. Our next guest this weekend is Alex Hudatan. He was with me. I was mentoring him for a while. He went from a cubicle job making €500 a month. A year later, after I was working with him, mentoring him, he was making like 60,000 a month on Amazon. And then he started to teach other people. Then he made 5 million selling courses about Amazon. Then he also made $1 million a year or something on Amazon. Then he also made like hundreds of thousands and so many different things. Some people, it's just the missing piece that they need. And boom, they take off. Like a guy I was mentoring last month, he went from no income to 100,000 a year within 2 weeks.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah. It's just like, because you get a little strategy, a little tweak, boom, he goes out, gets a new contract, knows how to present himself, how to sell himself, how to brand himself, boom, now 100 grand a year.
And what I would like to dive deep into is the actual steps that you apply. For those listening that they are not aware of the process, what will be the first steps they have to make in order to arrive there?
Yeah, see, whenever we do the Get Money Now, I know there's a lot of talk about like mindset and other stuff. I almost cringe when I hear mindset because a lot of people just like sharing quotes seems to be mindset, but there's like things we need to change in our life. That's what we did in the first couple of stages of it. Was like cutting out the distractions in life. And even our last guest, Veronica, who came on the call, she was like huge into this. If you don't cut crap out of your life that's not serving you anymore, you can't fill it with the things that are going to propel you to where you need to go. And this is one of the most important things. And I think this is what happens. Like, if you ever wonder why when people, they're down to their last nothing and suddenly they take off, is because when you're down to your last nothing, you're like, I do not give a shit about Netflix. I do not give a shit about drinking in the pub. So I don't care about all these other things. It's irrelevant to me. Someone's like, hey, buddy, come on, let's hang out. Let's have a good... You understand I'm not going to eat next week if I don't do something? So suddenly your priority goes, I'm going to get stuff done. I'm going to work and focus because I need to eat. So whenever you get the hyper focus and stop having all the crap, like just time wasting junk, it's not like if you're traveling, because Gabe, you travel a lot. You go to beautiful places, go to Bali, Madeira right now or somewhere. Going down to the beach to watch a sunset, that's not a waste of time. I want to be clear. This is not what I'm talking about. Beautiful experiences are not a waste of time. Going and for a picnic with your loved one is not a waste of time. What I'm talking about, gaming on your phone, watching random YouTube videos for no reason. Just, we all know there's so many things in your day that are just like wasting your time. And also a big one is your energy. A big time waster is people are just like drained all the time because they don't know how to eat properly. They don't know how to eat the right foods. They eat things that, if you go to McDonald's, that's an obvious one. But there's a lot of foods now you don't even know, if you don't look at the packaging, you might not know how many poisons are in everything you eat. And you have a meal, you go, but this is a healthy meal. And you feel exhausted and you want to lie on the couch for 2 hours and you feel drained and sluggish and you wake up and you're like, oh, don't talk to me, I'm grouchy. It's because you have to take care of these things that go into your body, like only putting water and exercising, stretching, doing things to get your body going. And that gives you all the energy you need. So this is important. Clear out the junk you don't need. Then I'm not like crazy in nutrition. I eat very basic. I have like eggs and toast in the morning. I have like either chicken or mince or something with no poison ingredients. I'm very careful for that. And at night I have the porridge and that's it. I'm very simple. I'm not like some crazy nutritionist dude. But if I eat that right and I check things, how my body feels, I have all day energy. And if you can do 8 extra hours of output, shocker, you're going to be further along than people who don't have that, right?
Yeah, true, because most people feel drained after 2 hours. I was in that situation. I had no idea, for example, that I'm intolerant to gluten. And every time I was eating a piece of bread, I was feeling that all day. And making those small changes, as you mentioned, in the eating habits, into adjusting your lifestyle and not just spending all the time on your phone, scrolling through social media or watching Netflix or watching a football game. By the way, I heard that you used to be a Manchester United fan. And personally, I lose 4 hours a week now because there are 2 games a week watching United, following them for years. And you ring a bell there because I was like, sometimes I don't even spend that amount of time focusing on my own health, self, or my partner and so on. But I make time for watching that crap because unfortunately, past 10 years was like, it's not football, it's crap what they're playing, but that's another thing. And yeah, all those small things add up and you free up time for the things that really matters to you. And on that note, after you went through this process, make sure that you have the amount of energy that you need to build something. What is the next step in order to achieve that goal?
This is where you start to get a bit internal first before you get to the external. Because I realize a lot of people want to jump to but give me the specific strategy. And I used to always get this. My friend Alex says people do that to him all the time now. I was doing seminars, there might be 500 people or 1,000 people at the event. And I would just say, look, I could give any one of you, like I could go to my phone and I could pick out like 10 ways you can make 10,000 a month. And they're like, everyone, oh, give it to me. Come on, please, just give it to me. I'm like, however, that's not what you need right now. You need to do these other things, the internal work to figure out what you are, to raise your power, to understand yourself. And they're like, no, just give me the list. I'm like, you sure? I'm like, yeah. And then, okay, come over. And I show them the list. I pick one and they're like, yeah, that's not very exciting. Okay, number, yeah, okay. And they're like, yeah. And they just walk away disappointed. But I can make 10,000 a month with those easy. But the thing is, they haven't developed themselves where they can see the opportunity in that, what we're giving them. And that's the thing. So here's what you do. First of all, I noticed there's a lot of the manifesting became very popular. And again, this is great. Like I love when The Secret came out, it made it a big trend and all these things. Everyone get into putting pictures of supercars and jets and all that stuff. And that's still wonderful. However, the other side of the manifesting process that most people don't do, which is the most important of all, is we use that same process to manifest how we feel in our ideal workday. And this is absolute gold to spend. If you spend 90% of your time manifesting like a spectacular workdays and 10% manifesting the stuff, you suddenly get the stuff easy. If you spend it 90-10 the other way, you're always going to be like, oh, when's my Ferrari coming? When's my Lambo? When's my nice house coming? Because it doesn't have the energy. Your brain doesn't believe the story. Whenever you think, okay, someone who can't really get out of bed before 11 a.m., and when they do get out, they're like, oh, I got to sit in the couch for an hour. Oh, and then I got to watch some TV, and then I'll scroll my phone, and then like, whenever your brain thinks about it, it doesn't think you deserve to have money or responsibility. Because if somebody gives you responsibility that usually comes with money, you're not going to be able to take advantage of it, and then the opportunity goes away again. Because you have to be able to do things to be someone at a higher level. It's just what it is. Even if you marry a rich person, you're going to have to manage the house staff. You're probably going to have to do media tours. You're going to have to hang out with the rich friends who are all probably intelligent. Like, there's things you have to be able to do at the higher level if you want to be at the higher level. So it's important to start spending time rehearsing what that is and learning to love the game that you're getting into. But yeah, it's important not to just love any game. Find out what the game is we like Gabe, you might just love designing landing pages and websites. That might just light you up. And it's like, awesome, go for that. Podcasting as well just lights you up inside. So like, you imagine yourself being the most spectacular podcaster ever. You're loving the conversations. You've got a full team that's built. I know you're solopreneur here. I'm kind of breaking the theme here, but you've got a team of contractors that are building out. They're running your marketing for you. They're promoting everything. You're seeing the numbers going up of a certain amount of people, but it's more about how you feel. You're getting the message from all the guests that you want. And you really get into this. And how do I feel when I'm like a top level podcaster? You see yourself sitting on the seat like next to Joe Rogan or something, or in his position, and what it feels like to be that. And you spend most of your time learning to love that. Like I spent most of my time thinking about loving to sell, loving to get out and bring my products to people, loving to get out and talk to people. And whenever you spend that time, suddenly you start to become someone who is professional. And then suddenly, shocker, whenever you act like that, money comes to you. Such a thing, but people want to skip that step and they kind of don't want to, so much work. But I'd rather see what Ronaldo's doing. Who cares about these people? It's not your life. Like a lot of people fantasize about being 45 years old and they fantasize about being a Premier League football player. You know how much wasted energy that is to dream about running down the pitch and scoring a goal and celebrate? Dude, you're not going to be a Premier League football player at 45. Dream about being the best podcaster in the world, about being the best graphic designer in the world, fantasize about being the best, whatever it is you're trying to build, and use all your fantasy time for something that's real, to really get into it. And don't waste all these, as Bob Proctor used to always say, castle building, when you're dreaming of crap that you know you're never going to do. But whenever you constantly spend all that creative power on my life, what am I going to become constantly? And within the realms of what you think you want to do, suddenly the opportunities and suddenly all these things start coming into your life. And think about, what people am I around? How do those people think of me whenever they see me? How am I, like, do I enjoy the conversation? What do we talk about? How does it feel to manage money? Do you love hiring people? Can you in your mind see how fun it is to hire people? Because most people are like, oh my God, I have to hire someone. This is awful. But what if you can make it fun inside yourself? Like, how can I get myself to love it? And in Peaceful Riches, we have processes to train yourself to love these things. And once you love it, it's like you get to enjoy all of life, the material stuff and the work and your family and all the other things. So that's the next step.
And I will argue an extremely important one. And it's funny that you mentioned that, because actually last night I was thinking what I actually enjoy a lot doing. And for example, this is one of the things that I enjoy, because having all this conversation with really smart people like you that share all their experience and their knowledge I'm literally sitting here learning for free and sharing this learning with the world, helping probably someone else change their life because they just heard something that they can apply into their own life. I want to ask you, after you go through this process, because I know that you're big into building a network of like-minded people. And I know it's also part of the process of helping you bring in people together, because all those things are connected. And networking, I think it's one of the most underrated skills that you can build. How did you build that, and how this tap into your system of building businesses?
Yeah, here's the thing. If anyone wants a shortcut, let's say you're like, he's talking about all the reading thousands of books and listening to lots of podcasts. Let's say you don't want to do any of that. You don't want to read any books. You don't want to do any of that stuff. I can give you a quick shortcut. You can skip all the self-development basically, and you'll get most of the way there. Is be around people who are where you want to be. And it's like their energy and their mindset and their skills and their knowledge, it starts to absorb into your body, that naturally you start to get pulled in that direction. Even if you don't get to their level, because what I recommend, like every week I have a mastermind with a bunch of millionaires and we all get together and we push each other. Whenever you're around that, I hear all the things they're doing. They hear the things I'm doing. If one of them gets lazy, I'm kicking ass and they're like, oh, we better get going again. And the other way around. And it just that group expectation lifts you so high. And you start letting go of all the crap that's not good for you. And it's just by being around people, because you start to feel like, do I want to be the guy when they come in talking about they built their landing page, they launched a new product? Well, I saw Manchester United win the FA Cup. Dude, what are you talking about? Like, why would you do that? Yeah, but Orange is the New Black on Netflix just dropped a new season and I had to catch it. Otherwise I'll be left. You just don't do that. You're like, nah, okay, I want to keep up here. So that expectation of being around other people, it's such a valuable thing. But then it's like, how do you get around these people? You go, okay, I love rich friends. I love prosperous people. I love all these things. And it is tricky to get there. First of all, we have to be someone that those people want to be around. And that doesn't mean you have to be rich. This is the thing I found, like I was kind of shocked by. You just need to be able to add value in a certain way. Like Gabe, as soon as I met him, he's been super friendly, super helpful. He reached out to see if I needed help to get on other podcasts. He reached out to some people. It was very nice of him. He brought me in this podcast. He helped me talk about my website. He helped organize many things, and just genuinely just feels like a friendly guy. And it's just like the more connection points we have, the more we start to feel like friends. And before you know it, Gabe is this guy that I know like I know everyone else. And this isn't like you're scheming and plotting and other stuff. It's just like just genuinely being helpful to people. It doesn't take any more, like it doesn't take a lot more effort to be polite, helpful, friendly. If you know someone who can help someone, open a door, connect them, then people want to do the same for you. It goes around different ways. So that's what I was just doing. Like I worked for, some of you might know the Rich Dad Poor Dad company. I ended up working for them for a while, for a year. And I was traveling around with Robert Kiyosaki's advisors, and I was on their team and they were training me. And whenever I went to their events, even when I wasn't part of the team, when people were about to leave the room, I just went and sold people back in, and I pulled them back into the room to the table and helped sign them up. And I wasn't even working for their people. And then their managers, hey, what are you doing? But they were going to leave, so I just brought them back to the table and was like, okay, interesting. And I was like, hey, if you ever come back around here, I would love to be in the next event. I'll help you out. And they're like, fair enough. I'll be like, you don't need to pay me. I just love to be here. And okay, come to the next one. So I went to the next one. And then whenever I was there, I offered to pick them up at the airport. I picked them up at the airport. I went there. I took them out for dinner. I showed them around the place. I did all the things. I sold like crazy when I was on the event. So guess what? They invite me to the next place. And then I did a couple more. And then they wanted to pay me. But I know the trick. I was like, you're going to treat me like an employee if you pay me. And they're like, but everyone else gets paid. They get 10,000 a time. They get 10,000 a weekend. And I'm like, no, I'm not taking it. And then it kind of bothers people whenever you offer so much value, but you don't take anything in return. It almost like, in a strange way, they're like, prosperous people feel they have to give you much more. So I could have taken the money, but that would have been long spent by now. So then the CEO of the company flew over to meet me and my friend. He flew over specially, and he was like, okay, what's the deal with you guys? Because me and my other friend, there was two of us doing it together. And we sat down, we talked for quite a long time in this hotel, and we were just like, I laid out my plan of what I want. I want to be a good speaker. I want to know all the property stuff. I want to know how to buy companies. I want to know all these things. And then he's like, okay, I'll tell you what, until you build your portfolios enough, I can't put you on the big stage, but I'll put you on the smaller events, the premium ones, and you shadow our top guy. And you'll get to go travel around with him everywhere. And I'm like, boom, done. So he put me under his wing. Every week we fly in, we drive like 4 or 5 hours together, just me and him. And this guy, he was a bit overweight. He wanted to take a trip to China to walk on the Great Wall of China. And I was like, hey, I was a fitness instructor and a nutritionist. So I did it enough. I ran enough, got myself in shape. And I was like, I'll train you, help you lose weight for the Great Wall. And he's like, cool, you help me lose weight, I'll train you to invest.
Nice.
Boom, done, deal. So we just drove around. He was just helping me. He put me on the stage. And then whenever I was buying companies, he put me on the stage to then teach how I'd buy the companies. Because they did that strategy in properties. I did it in businesses. And then I'd train their people and whatever. And then it was just like, it became this level of like, we'd go to the event, and then all the Dragon's Den people from UK would come to the event. And because they were all friends, then you get to hang out, and you get like Peter Jones and Theo Bafidis and all the other ones they're probably billionaires now. And then you start to get into these circles. But that was just like going above and beyond with my energy in a way that just like other people weren't willing to do. And I just find this, I always try to be helpful and valuable to people. And then you use the story, you use connections with one to connect other people, like it's starting to organize events. I'll give you another example. This is a very instructive one. Our good friend that you know also, Alex Hudutan, whenever I first met him, he came to my seminar, then I mentored him, and then he developed up, and then his course was the best-selling course in the history of Romania. So he sold I think it was like millions worth of that. And then what he was doing, he took all these things I'm talking about to heart. Like, how do you do these? We call them big moves. So he put on this event in Romania. He was doing this year by year. I think it was like between 500 and 700 people in the audience. I don't know exactly the numbers, whatever, but it was a big audience that he did. Get a big facility. And some people would have stopped there. Okay, I'll do a conference for my Amazon people. That's fine. He was like, okay, how about I bring 50 millionaires and we'll do a week in Romania touring the place. And we'll go around and we'll do paragliding. We did so many. Went to the spa. We did rally driving. We did lots of things. And then, so we were all invited there, 50 millionaires all driving. We were taken around in these luxury buses. And then it was just awesome for a week. We're just getting to know these people, having great experiences, great conversations, great talking to everyone. And then at the end of an event like this, a lot of people, they're like, oh, nice to meet you guys. I'll see you later. Bye-bye. And they go home. That's the end of that. Me being me, I ain't doing that. It's like, how do I keep in contact with all of these people? Like these people, like all of them, most of the people who were there, they had spent €100,000 each to meet each other at a mastermind event. So they paid 100,000 to meet everyone of that level. And so I'm like, I got a good opportunity here. So I was like thinking, okay, I found out they were having an Amazon event in Amsterdam. It was in October. And I thought, okay, what if I do an event in Marbella, where I live, the week before? So then that gives them a reason. A lot of them will come from America. They'll be in Europe anyway, so they can kind of slide in there before. And then I rounded up like the 4 or 5 people I know who would definitely come. And the event was to have some yachts. We get 2 yachts, a fleet of jet skis. We'd go out and we could see dolphins. We'd go around. And then we'd go to Nikki Beach, and Nikki Beach would bring a boat out to pick us up from our yachts. And then we'd have this luxury events. We'd have supercars. We'd driving up all around the mountains. We'd like all these people were coming to stay at my house. So like 25 people coming to stay at my house. And I put on this event, the PDF, making it like selling it like crazy. Once I got the first 5 people sold on it, I was able to say, hey, this guy's coming, this guy's coming, this guy's coming, this guy's coming, show them the event. So the next people were like, boom, I'm in. And it went 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20, 21, 22, 20. And I'm like, okay, no more. That's it. I can't my house can only handle so many people. It was like the people sleeping on the couches as well. These people were just like crazy. We got to spend a week with me as the host in my house. And it's like whenever they get to come, we get to hang out. We do all these crazy things. They anchor in their mind me as an authority because I'm the host. So it gives you a memory power. Like I added so much value to their life, such a unique experience that it doesn't mean we're best friends. I'm not saying that or even they look at me in a certain way. It's just like, but they will remember me. And whenever I reach out, they're like, hey, I stayed at your house. It's hard not to be like, hey, how you doing? So you kind of start to build that bond a little bit and a little bit more of a connection. Then Alex and I were also relaunching Enlightening Millionaire soon, which we're planning to have 200-300 millionaires in that group that we can all mastermind with, connect with. So we're always prioritizing connecting with people and doing the things that other people don't do. And that you might go, well, I can't do that. I don't. But you can do different levels of this. There are different levels. Like even like in our community, a lot of people offer to volunteer to help me out. It's like amazing. If I like the people who volunteer, whenever we launch Enlightened Millionaires, I'll let them volunteer in Enlightened Millionaires. And then they get to meet hundreds of millionaires just by volunteer. And again, when I say volunteers, I'm not working people to the bone. They can do like a couple of hours here and there, meet and greet in the community, do certain things. But just by stepping up and doing these things, it's just like, then they can come in and meet my friends. And then obviously, say someone's a photographer and they're like, hey, I'd volunteer. Okay, you come down to the event and you get to hang out. And so now you get to meet all these people for free. You just put a little bit of labor in. So it's like there's always ways you can get in, but just whenever you know prosperity, the things we teach in Peaceful Riches, when you know how to operate this way, you know how to be around these people as well. So whenever you meet them, you don't freak out. Oh, this guy sold his company for 50 million. Oh my God, can I touch you? If I could just touch you, my world would just... Yeah, don't do that. That's creepy and weird. You just be like, hey, how's it going? Nice to meet you. How are you? Not like you treat everyone else. So whenever you learn how to be around rich people, you know how to be that no matter your situation. It doesn't matter about your money. Like most of the rich people, they buy €10 t-shirts, shorts, super chill. You would think they're probably struggling in life, a lot of them. You're just like, that guy doesn't look rich. And then you talk to him, he's making $1 million a month net. It's like, interesting. So it's just like, you find that people are just so chill, but if you come around and be all creepy and weird, oh, can I touch you? I never touched a millionaire before. People used to do that to me in the seminar. Just like, okay, we can't be friends. Just be like a normal human being. And once you know how to like connect with people, and again, it's not chasing people for the money either. If I saw a billionaire and I really didn't like him, I'm not going to spend a second trying to get around him. These are people that I really like, people that are my type of people, like the solopreneur, entrepreneur, free living type of people. That's who I like to connect with. And Peaceful Riches, there's already like 30 millionaires in our group that if you want to, you can start connecting with. If you reach out and do that, there's also like tons of people who are making very good incomes, who have lots of skills and other things. So I do 2 ways. You want to build the higher level group and also then build people who are on a journey. Once you figure something out, share it with people. And again, I'm building a community. I'm not trying to build it too fast because I want it to be the right culture. I want people to come in. We're doing it in Discord because there's no ads and no algorithms. It makes it way harder to grow fast, for sure. But the right type of people will enjoy that more. Whereas the people who don't know their own mind, they need algorithms to feed them stuff because they don't know how to look for stuff themselves. But once you know yourself, you can look for stuff yourself. You come in, everything there is peaceful. There's no ads, there's no news, there's no gossip, there's no junk. It's just good high-level prosperity stuff. And we all get to hang out. And that's important to me. So if we grow 10 times slower, I don't care. because the culture matters to me, because in 3 years, 5 years, we'll have a beautiful culture that's going to be so harmonious and strong and powerful. A lot of these people that are in there are going to be the future network that I want to connect with. And I did it for free.
And on that note, I'd like to ask you about this process of building without investing much, getting help from others. Because one thing that I try, since we have that conversation, it's getting help from others in exchange of something. For example, I pitched someone to help me with the podcast editing. By the way, I might be a solopreneur, but I actually use contractors quite a bit. And my definition of solopreneurship is that you don't have full-time employees, you're a solo founder, you don't have a co-founder or something, but you work on your business, and inside your business, you have contractors and so on. So I was trying, because as well, this podcast is not making any money. And I was trying to apply what you said to find someone to do the editing and do all the promotion and so on, in exchange of me teaching them the skill set that I have, like marketing, building websites, the actual podcast itself, because now I'm doing it myself. I went through that process. The first person was a no. And I would love to hear, how will you approach this for those listening, like how they can get help in exchange for something, or how the mind works behind that, because people will interpret, oh, you're just searching for free help, when in reality it isn't.
I put this little game in the group. It was like, say we just pick a random business, say like a mechanic business, and we're like, everyone's working out how we can build that up and do that. And one of the examples we gave was, how do you get free employees? That's basically what you're talking about, right? So how do you get people to come and volunteer and stuff? Yeah, it's whenever you have an inspiring vision that people want to be part of, I think that's when you can do things in a certain way. So it doesn't have to be like the most inspiring business in the world. Let's say you're even website developing. If you're further down the road, you can find groups of young people as well who want to learn how to do it, and they can do many things. And you can reach out to them and be like, hey, would you like me to train you in some of these higher level skills in exchange for you doing some of the grunt work? Because some things just take a little bit of time and a little bit of energy, but then you're training them in the way of doing it. So the best example I'll probably give, again, it's easier in the seminar business. Once you're doing self-development, of course, more people want to do it because they want to kind of know the philosophy, what you're doing, why you're doing it. So I just reach out to people. If you want to help with community support, because you need people to engage when people come in, there's conversations going. We'll need some people if you want to help with graphic design. If some people want to help, you were helping me lay out the website and other things. So it's whenever people know you have an energy of really working to help them in a way. And I always do that. As soon as somebody helps me, I'm always thinking, okay, how do I quickly help them back even more? And it's this energy. I think people feel it once you create an environment of that. Whereas I'll even give you an example. Like, I'm the type of person, I just always want to uplift people. So the last time Alex was actually at my house, he came there, and it was the last day of my housekeeper was working with us. And so Alex was there to witness it, thankfully, so that at least he knows it's not just a random story that I just making up. But we had a housekeeper. Whenever we met her, she was like super struggling financially. Her car was beat to, I'm not to say the word, like it looked like crap. She's struggling. Lots of things weren't very prosperous, but she had a good energy. She was like a nice person. I could tell that. So we would talk about a lot of things. I would give her some books, The Science of Getting Rich. I would give her stacks of like all these, sort of play money that you can sit and do these things. I gave her lots of audiobooks to listen to. And every day we would spend half an hour talking about what she wants to do, how she would do that. And within a very short period of time, she was like, when Alex came that day, she just bought a brand new car, and she was just leaving because she got over 4,000 or 5,000 a month in her side business. And that was my housekeeper, because it's just like, I put that energy of everyone who's around me, I try to uplift them, and I work to do this. So if you create a company culture that people do this, because a lot of people, they're terrified that if you work with someone, you try and hold on to them and they'll leave. Oh my God, I'll lose them. But that's good. If they're leaving for something better, that's wonderful. You want to help train people and uplift, but you tell them that up front. If you have a skill, I will, like, again, if you don't have a skill, you do the grunt work. I did the grunt work. I volunteered. I've in tons of things. I work my ass off. I work for people's charities. I work for Rich Dad. I work for other things like this, and I love it. So whatever side, if you don't have the skills and you want the network, you work your ass off, do the grunt work. I'll carry chairs. I don't care. I'll take garbage out at a charity event. I don't care. I'll meet and greet, whatever. But then if you're the other way around, you want to think, how can I uplift these people, and I can show them a path that's going to help them.
And I'll argue, even if you have the skills, I will give me as an example. I built a website for more than 10 years. I have a pretty successful business. I'm not actively searching for new clients or something. But Given the fact that I want to get to the new stage, I want to get to the new place that where I won't build websites for all my life. I'm 100% sure of that. I love doing this type of things, like helping others through the stories of others with this podcast. And because of that, I was like, how can I be resourceful? How can I help the community of Arion in order to be able to not only be helpful and so on? If you help someone, you'll get something in return at some point. And it doesn't have to be on an agenda. I must do something. I must help because for certain that people will help me. Don't go with that mindset. Just, as Arion said, be resourceful, be helpful. Try to see how you can bring value to the table, and value will come back to you. You probably not even from that place, probably from somewhere else, but this is how karma works and everything works in life.
That's the key. It's like whenever you do this, because again, all wealthy people I've known that have gone through it consciously, they also have this attitude of, I'm sowing seeds everywhere, but I'm not calculating. It's being someone, like I talked about this in the group, but like being a builder. Everywhere I go, I want to build. I'm not a consumer. Now, I listen to things, I listen to podcasts, I listen to stuff, I listen to courses, but I'm not a consumer by nature. I'm a builder by nature. So if I get into a group, I want to be part of the group. Because I talk a lot about the shadow people who always they hide behind, they're there, you can see their profile, but they've never once said hello to anyone. They kind of just hide in the distance. Whereas you're there anyway, why not just be like, hey, how's it going? If somebody says, hey, does anyone know how to do a video editing software? So, oh yeah, I know that. Boom, here you go, here's a link. Nope, start speaking out and just genuinely open doors for people. Like Gabe straight away, I said, hey, do you know anyone who would get me on podcasts? Because I want to really develop this skill. And for me, this is a skill like any other. I want to develop it, get better at it, improve my skill over time. And he's like, yeah, sure, I'll reach out to a few people. And it's like straight on, I'm like, man, that's amazing. Thank you for so much. I just value him so much now because of these simple little things. And again, he took time to build connections with people over a long period of time. But that's the joy. Once you sow those seeds for a long time, you know lots of people favorably. And then when you do want to reach out, you can help someone else with someone else. And it's just like you create more win-wins. And when you become that type of person, you just have an endless pool of people who want to help you. And hopefully you never, like 99%, you'll never need to cash in on it. But sometimes if you ever do need a little favor, you'd be like, hey, would you mind help me out with this? And they're like, sure, no worries. The time passes anyway. You're there anyway. Like, why just sit and grouch? That guy's website sucks. Okay, how did that help? Or you could be, here's 5 things I think you could do to improve it. And I have a friend who also does websites. He's called Gabe. Maybe you might want to use him for that. And it's, oh, thank you. That's nice. So one is like just going in and like bitching everywhere and why is it? Oh, look, his color grade is not exactly. It's okay. Why not say, hey, I think this color grade would look awesome. Maybe you'd like to try that instead. I have this LUT. I have this other thing you could do, or this software, whatever. And that's nice. Just being that type of person I'm always trying to find the solution. And if I see somebody struggling, I'm like, okay, I'm going to try and help you somehow. No matter what level, if somebody's got €5 in their pocket, I'm still going to try and help them. If somebody's got 50 million, I'm still going to try and help them. I just being that type of person that you just want to uplift all the time. There's the builders and almost the destroyers. Like a lot of people partly like to build, but then secretly fantasize about destruction. And you want to know how I know people secretly fantasize about destruction? Because I can check their watch history. I can check what shows they watch. If you watch TV shows where people are getting killed, where stuff's getting blown up, where there's revenge and gossip and bickering and other stuff, that means secretly you love destruction. So in one side of your life, you're trying to build, but you're also getting like high on destruction, chaos, violence, other things, murder mysteries. It's like the number one class of books in the United Kingdom. Like it blows my mind. You go into a bookstore and there's 2 full levels of just murder mystery. I'm like, that's very worrying. How people just love the murder game. It's just like, how about you get into building more? Like I watch Restaurant Impossible, Hotel Impossible, Ramsay's Kitchen. Things are always building. And once you're a builder, you get the energy of building, and shocker, your life also reflects that. Whereas the people I know watch gossip stuff and other things, their life, suddenly they have gossip in their life and arguments and fights and other things. So it's like, it's putting out that energy. And whenever people feel that, they want to attach onto it. And that's what you're saying. We'll go back to like, how do you get people to help you for free? And another point on that, we're not cheap asses that don't want to pay people for helping us. That's not the point of this. But whenever you're starting out, I'm very cautious about the cash flow of an operation when we're beginning. So I try to use everything that I don't have to use cash at the beginning. But then once cash comes in, you pay those people very well. And then they stay with you long term because you know they like your mission because they did it for free at the beginning. So you're more likely to have a better employee or partner or however you want to frame it. And then you can reward people very well. So we're not cheap asses that just don't want to pay people. Like I'm delighted to pay people, but when you start a new operation and you've only brought in €500 in the whole operation, you don't want to be paying 2,000 a month for an employee, 2,000 a month for another one. It's like you want to build that cash up and then go from there.
So not to mention that young person that lives with their parents and they want to acquire a new skill, it's much more easier for them to get help for free for themselves. They actually get something for free as well. Instead of paying 40,000 for a college degree or something that won't help them, or acquiring a huge expensive online course that they will never complete. And if you get direct help, one-on-one help from someone that actually know that thing, it's invaluable. And then you build a connection. It's basically a fair exchange of things. It's not just something like, oh, someone will work for me for free and then that's it. Like I get my stuff done and I don't give anything in return.
I think this is how the world worked previous to a lot of people re-engineering a lot of our society was apprenticeships. So the one who has a skill, they teach the one below, but then they get help. So you'd have a young kid, he'd sweep your floors and you teach him how to cut wood. Like that's how it would work until he's able to cut wood effectively and efficiently. So he does the grunt work for free, but once he's now skilled, now you pay him for the skilled work. Or whenever somebody pays to make a piece of furniture, you go 50-50 with them, or you build them up bit by bit. It's such a beautiful system. Because you notice now in our society, nobody's packing the bags at the grocery store. Well, where I am anyway. Nobody's wiping your windshield. Nobody's pumping the gas. Nobody's taking you to the seat in the cinema. Nobody, like, all these jobs that were for apprentices don't exist anymore. Because people are like, oh, you're abusing young people and other stuff. Those are important. Apprenticeships are important. And online, the same principle works. I'll still be the apprentice many times in my life. If there's a new skill I want, like I would volunteer on a group like mine if it's a higher level, because I want to know how it's done. And I'll work for free. I don't care. I'm not proud. The thing is, I'm not proud of a lot of things, the same as I was saying about the podcast, because like I'm new to this way of doing it. I did lots of seminars. I did lots of that type of thing. I've done a lot of like things like that, but a live audience is different than an online conversation like this. So as I said to you, if someone has a podcast and they have 50 people, I'll go on it. If they have 500 people, like I just did my friend's event like this, and he's a list of 50,000. The other guy I did with it, he's a list of 15,000 that they put out their list, other things. So I'll do a bigger one. I'll do a smaller group. I honestly don't care. I just want to build the skill. So I see it's like this for me as well. As I like getting the message out, but I like building the skill. And I like from when I started Peaceful Riches, I'm significantly better at this than I was at the beginning. A year from now, I hope I'll be exponentially better than I am now. And I'm not proud. I tell people in the group all the time, I'm not so good at this thing, whatever it is you see me doing. I'm doing it because I want to get better. I don't pretend to be the world's best at everything. If I don't have the skill yet, I'm going to work my ass off. I'll do 5 calls a day, every day for the next year to build the skill because I want it so much.
That's important, because if you don't want to do the work and you don't want to build the skill, you'll never acquire it. What I like to finish with, it's something that I always try to apply every time when I learn something. How you can take all this knowledge and apply it in the real world. What will be your actionable step for someone that can take in less than 1 week to be able to start building a business without investment at the beginning?
The first easy things you can do, we talked about at the beginning, get rid of all the crap that doesn't serve you anymore. Start to work on your ideal version. What does your ideal workday look like? Who are you in that thing? So you'll start to think, that'll give you the idea. Like over time you craft that, and it helps you guide which business you go into. So now you've got energy. Now you know what you want to do. Now you'll need to think about, how do I get something going? And it's such an important part that, like, because the people are like, but how do I get the money? Tell me how to get the money. And I get that. So if in most businesses now, you need to have a list. It's so important. I didn't take this seriously for a long time. I built lists. I deleted them all. I built another list. I deleted it all. I kind of want to be public. I would do that and then I'd try to be the most private person in the world. I delete everything. I don't have email. I haven't had a SIM card in years. Nobody can reach me other than Discord and Telegram. So now I'm like battling that different side. But now I realize, like, having a list of people who know you favorably, that is where all your businesses will come from in the future, basically, I feel. Saying that, first thing you want to do is have an offer. And this is so important. We had one guy in our group. I'll give Zoltan a plug here. He was doing video edit. He'll do shorts on TikTok. And he's a great guy. He did a lot of the branding stuff. He did a lot of prosperity stuff, but he just wasn't getting there. Whereas he still wasn't able to get clients. So we were like, okay, let's rework your offer. So you have a mafia offer, what they call an offer you can't refuse. And then you have something like that ready for people. So he reworked his offer. Instead of before, it was like 3,000 a month and we'll do 100 videos in 100 days. And that might be the best deal in the world. But when I don't know him, that's a big leap to go from 0 to 3,000 a month for videos. So what he did was he recrafted his offer, and he said he will do, I think it was 2 videos a day. And this is a real mafia offer. Like, you have to feel real stupid not to take it. It's like, he'll do 2 videos per day in the short form with the subtitles and all the little bits of editing, whatever. Post it on 4 platforms, and for €249 per month. And then he sent that and he pre-edited 10 videos for me without me asking, and send them to me. So now I don't have this type of video. Now I have 10 of them, and I'm like, this kind of looks like the other cool people who do it online that have lots of followings. I'm like, and for $249 a month, and it's a guy I like, and he branded himself well. He's very friendly, and it's like, I have to just be a douchebag not to take it. Really, it's like that type of thing. And they're like, okay, we'll do it. And okay, so that'll be client number 1. Then I told Alex. He said, I'll take 2 packages. I told another friend. Boom, he'll take a package. Boom. And you see quite quickly how he goes from having 0 clients because he's holding out for the big offer. I'll do it $249. That's not a lot of money. And you go, that's a lot of work for not a lot of money. Yep, but that's why I bought it. But now, once I use it and I get used to having those videos on my platform, if I get some followers and some traffic into the Peaceful Riches, then I'll be like, oh, this is cool. And he can come in and say, hey, would you like some stock footage in top? I can do a bit more fancy editing. I get more. We'll go from 250 to 750. And then you're like, well, I know you. I like you. It's worked so far. Boom, done, deal. And now he could do that with Alex. He can do it with the other guys. He can also and now he can use our stuff on his website because he had no examples of footage he worked with. Now he puts that content on there from multiple different people. Now he looks like someone people trust. He's good quality content. So the new person comes in, sees the offer, sees all the testimonials, sees all the examples of his work, and you're like, I'll take the deal. Boom. And now you do that for a month or 2, and you can even pay a low-level intern to do it. You can even give them the whole money, the $249, who cares? And then he could take the money from the 750 offer. And then once I do the 750 and I'm comfortable there, he can go to 3,000. And maybe, okay, now that's our new level. So you can see how somebody being stubborn and be like, no, I need 3,000 a month because that's my target. That's what the system told me. Or you go 250 a month and go, no, I'm not working for 250 a month. What, are you crazy? Like I'm worth way more than that. How dare you insult me? Puh. It's people can have that attitude. It's you have no work. You have no clients. You have no work. You have time. Use the time and do the work and build clients, build testimonials, build things for your website so you can show how good your work is. You're building the skill while you're doing it. And then once you have people who like your service, now you have a secondary offer for an upsell. And you can build a list in different ways. So like Gabe will probably have to explain how to do a landing page. That's how the scope of this now. But you can get one. You can basically do it for free. I did a free one on Wix. And Wix, I don't recommend Wix. It kind of sucks. But there's only one I knew. I did it. I think they have a card and Systemi, which are super easy. You can do it for free. And then when you want a more professional website and you start making money, call Gabe and he can build you probably crazy levels all the way up if you want a complex store and whatever that way. So it's like you work your way up the levels. But it's having an entry level offer. Because Gabe, you reworked your offer, right? What you tell them now because you started a new offer. So what is your new offer?
Yeah, so my new offer is to send me the landing page that you have, and I will tell you 5 things that you can improve without technical knowledge and everything in order to improve your conversion. And since the moment I put it out, I got overbooked that I have to take it off, and now I have a wait list there, a sign up form with a wait list in order to be able for when I reopen to tell them. And simply by tweaking and giving some free teaser of what can I do. And from those people that sign up, I got already a client that was like, can you apply this for me? Of course I can. Sometimes just a free thing that you can give or some sort of taste of your offering or your skills is more than enough. And speaking of Zoltan offer, we try to apply something in Ralu's offer. For example, giving 2 weeks of free trial. People actually get the service, does the service for 2 weeks for free. And assuming they will be happy after the 2 weeks, they'll switch to the payment option, which is a monthly recurring. And after a month of 2 happy clients, because we want to test with two happy clients, we run a referral program in which every single person that tops the referrals will get 2 months for free. And that way, if they love the offer, if they like the service, if they see results and so on, what it takes for them to tell others about it, like you did with Alex and the others. You just tell others about the others, they'll come in, of course, this time at the full price. And then you run the referral again for the whole group. And that way, probably in 2 or 3 months, you are fully booked and you can even, after a year or so, charge more and so on. There are many ways to think about it. You need to be a bit creative.
Yeah, because it's amazing how people, they have time, but they'll sit stubbornly and have no clients. It's use the time. It's better to work. Okay, you might not get a lot from it, but you find ways to use that. Say, if I do work for you, I'll post it on, say Rally does some graphics work for someone. She can post it on her website as examples. That's it. Okay, so now you have more demonstrations of your work. And if you don't have the clients, then do things to do that. But there's a thing about having offers to get people into your world. Again, for me at peacefulriches.com, which is where you can go and get our newest offer. It'll always be the most updated offer, wherever that is. We're rewriting the website now for the inner game of money, and that'll be in January. So we're doing the inner game of money, and it'll be the same. It'll be like 8 sessions. We'll do it live in the group. It'll be audios, there'll be meditations, there'll be guided coachings, there'll be like so many things. And again, whenever I'm building this, I imagine I'm charging €1,000 for it. I really build it with that in mind, and then I give it for free, but I expect in my mind, I'm building a product that should sell for 1,000. And I put all the things in it that would go into a product that does sell that level. So that's my entry level offer. You come in, it's not a free sales pitch, which most of these offers are. I see online. Free 1 hour masterclass, and it's a free 1 hour sales pitch. This is a free course that you should pay 1,000 for, and you can do the Get Money Now, which we just finished, and you can do the 21-day Peaceful Riches Challenge, and you can do the Money Masters. You can listen to all those interviews, and we'll have the next. And I'm going to keep adding these. And once you're in the community, you can get all of these. And it's just like, you almost don't need to go anywhere else, because we're going to have everything. We're going to have the trauma release. We're going to have the visioning. We're going to have the series like how to attract a new car, how to attract a new home, every single angle that you can come at, we're going to come at it over time. So anyone who's going to be here for a year, they're going to have to struggle to stay poor. You'd have to work so hard to stay poor after you've gone through several of these courses. It's just like, you'd have to militantly just be committed to poverty. It's the only way that you're not going to have money flowing and have lots of opportunities. And even from this, I hope some of you got some ideas from this call already, little things that you can apply. You should be a ton of things if you took good notes, and then you start applying it straight away. You'll be like, wow, we started making changes already. So that's it. You would want to have a landing page, a way for people to contact you. Start building a list of people and I don't know what you'll do with it now. You might not know either. It doesn't matter. Just start getting people who know you favorably for something related to what you do. And then there's many more things to do after that. But that's a whole other layer of business conversation.
Thank you so much, Arion, for sharing all your knowledge and parts of it, of course, because there's so much more there, as you mentioned. And even for me personally, that I already know a lot of these things that I learned from you already, it was still a huge reminder for me. Yeah, that thing I didn't apply yet, or that thing I need to think of, or giving new ideas, giving new perspectives. And at the end of the day, that's what all this show is about, like giving you the tools, the resources that you need when you need them. Because sometimes you just bombard yourself with information and you end up not using it. But if you start, like Arion said, free up your life. Start with small things. Try to find out where you spend the most of your day. If it's on tasks that doesn't matter, or if it's losing your time on social media by scrolling or watching Netflix, football, or whatever, try to be a bit mindful about it. Try to stick to things that matters to you and focus on yourself, focus on your health, energy, getting a good night's sleep, and you'll already see things improving because you'll have a fresh mind that is not distracted by all the gossip, all the things that are going around the world. And yeah, that's including news. Don't watch them. Like you will hear if something important for you will need to be heard.
Until then, just build your own lives.
Exactly.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Gabe. It was an amazing conversation. I really enjoyed it, and I'm excited to follow all the rest of your interviews now, because I listened to a couple actually last night. A couple of shows that were very nice, so I'm excited for all the new ones coming up.
Thanks everyone for listening. As always, until necht week, pura vida.